You were tuned in to episode 73. Yes, I said it. Episode 73 of the Goodfellas podcast. Your host, G5 Jeff TV, aka G5, aka 5, aka the Guru. This is episode 73 of the Goodfellas podcast, aka the Smack Edition for this show. Y'all all know why. But we are back in effect. Big shout out to my man VP Shane. Not sure if he'll be in today. He out on official business. So big shout out to VP Shane. Big shout out to my bro, BoxingFirstVlog, man, aka the General, aka Blunt Bayless. Big shout out to him. He rumbling every single day. If you're listening to me, put a 1 in the comment section if you can hear me. All right. Put a 1 in the comment section if you can hear me. Okay. Big shout out to my guy YSM too. I seen you call, but I was getting ready to jump on here, bro. If you listening, put a 1 in the comment section if you can hear me correctly. My boxing son Chris G in the building, man. What's going on with you, bro? We got to talk that cool boy Steph thing too, man. I ain't forget about that, man. So we're gonna have to hop on the phone and chop it up about that. But episode 73 is on and popping. My man Michael in the building. What's going on, bro? Let's wrap Thursday, man. I think Thursday a good time for me. I gotta go to going to the Sixers game tomorrow. Sixers Bucks game tomorrow. And Wednesday I'm gonna be kind of busy. But Thursday, let's sit down and chop it up. I'll send you my number and we can do what we gotta do. You know what I'm saying? Man, we got so much to talk about, man. Kambosos, Devin Haney is done. Josh Warrington gets a huge victory over Kiko Martinez. Tim Tszyu gets off the canvas, comes back and beats Terrell Gachet. And Miss Muscle Body herself, Ebony Bridges, wins the title in her second attempt. And I'm pretty sure Eddie Hearn is very happy about that. And we have to judge the right hand smack of Will Smith. Something we definitely got to do. So we got a lot to talk about. Michael said, "Bet, yeah, that's a bet, man. Thursday, I'll hit you up and we'll figure out a time and all that. But I'm real interested to see what just your thoughts and what just thoughts, vision, anything that can help would be great, man. So it's great to hear a different perspective on things, man. Just get your background and all that, man. So big shout out to Michael Jr. in the building. My guy, L Dub, the plug in the building. Big shout out to you, bro. Man, I gotta get back. I gotta get back on the show. I don't know if you're working right now, Dub, but man, we had a good couple days of boxing news and things like that. Real excited about the Kambosos and Devin Haney fight. And I guess I'll start there. Matter of fact, you know what? Yeah, let's start there. Kambosos Haney is a done deal June 5th in Australia. And Devin Haney is a real gangster for signing this deal because if he wins, Kambosos gets the rematch in Australia again. It's already hard enough to beat a quality guy in their hometown, but to basically sign up for yourself to do it twice, I guess he really had no choice but to sign it. Even though he's a free agent, technically in boxing, that's not necessarily a great thing because when you negotiate contracts with these promoters, if they don't have options on you, especially if it's belts on the line, 9 times out of 10, they're not going to deal with you. So I knew Kambosos was going to have the upper hand as far as the negotiations and things like that. Diamond in the building. What's going on? What's up with you? Yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see how that fight plays out because I can see Devin Haney winning that fight 9-3, 10-2. But then at the same time, if he comes in with the wrong game plan, I can see this really being a dogfight. And people got to remember Kambosos sparred so many rounds and was in so many camps with Manny Pacquiao. You know what I'm saying? Like, it don't get no better than that, you know, in terms of being in the gym and sparring and things like that. Let's say, hey, champ, what's going on with you? What's going on with you? Appreciate you jumping on for sure. And I got a treat for y'all, too. My man, Coach Padman McGriff, will be on with us this week. It's looking like he's going to be working with Devin Haney and his dad, Bill Haney, for this Kambosos fight. He's worked with the who's who of people in the business. He's worked with Tiafimo. He's got pictures with Kambosos. Right now, he's working with Devin Haney and Bill Haney. He's worked with various people in the Mayweather gym. And, you know, I talked to him off camera, and we talked about a lot of things that Devin Haney can do to make this fight as easy as possible from a technical standpoint, from a lab coat standpoint. And it's going to be real good to get him on and really talk some technical stuff, some X's and O's with Coach Padman McGriff. So big shout out to Padman McGriff. I think that's going to go down, I'm thinking Thursday. I told him originally Tuesday, but I got the Sixers game to go to tomorrow. So I'm not going to be able to do it tomorrow. But I think it's a really good style matchup for both guys. For Kambosos, it's a good matchup because Devin Haney doesn't have that one-hitter quitter type power. Another thing with Haney is he has shown that, you know, if he gets hit with a good shot, you can get his attention for a couple rounds. And we seen that in the Linares fight, even though Linares, you know, got beat, 10 out of the 12 rounds, and it wasn't really competitive. It was really just moments where Devin Haney just looked a little shaky. But when you can count, you know, if you can count the negative moments that you have in a fight on one hand, that's a good performance. Same thing with Jojo Diaz. Real good performance. It was pockets where it was a little difficult for him, but you know, Devin Haney is really, really good, man. Really, really good. But if the Kambosos that showed up against Tiafimo shows up against Devin Haney, it's going to be a good fight. My guy, Bruce Goals, is in the building. What is going on, my brother? Bruce Goals, I actually got to talk to you. I gotta ask you two questions about your setup as far as your like your shows and stuff. It's like one thing that you do that I would like to start, and I just want to make sure I got the technical part correct before I actually do it. But big shout out to my guy Bruce Goals. You know, one of my favorite guys to listen to, period, man. Like, that's family for real. Slimy Guys team, what's going on? Said I think Haney is gonna outbox Kambosos. It's gonna be Haney definitely has the ability to just flat out just outbox Kambosos. And whenever Devin Haney gets into the ring, he has two different fights. He has the fight against the opponent, and then he has the fight with the boxing public, where if he goes outside of his comfort zone to try to get a spectacular knockout or a knockdown or just try to look more exciting than what he is, that's what he's fighting. So whenever Haney gets in the ring, he's fighting two people. So if Haney just sticks to boxing, nothing else, he can win this fight 9-3, 8-4, 9-3, 10-2. Like, I feel like he's the superior boxer. So Slimy Guys team, I think he could definitely outbox. Kambosos. But Kambosos is a tough cover. Kambosos is a tough cover, for real. He says, salute, bro. Salute to you, man. Salute to you. Appreciate you. My guy, YSM Sports Media in the building, man. I don't know if you heard me earlier. I seen you call him, but I was setting up to jump on here. He said, "Why are people surprised that a dude from the bottom gave Chris Rock a rap across to Jack Johnson?" I don't know, bro. I don't know. I listen. I was shocked, like everybody else was shocked, and my thing with these celebrities and things like that is we don't know how much, mental stress and emotional stress and things like that these guys are going through. Because I know why. I mean, we was just on the horn together, like a day or so ago, and we was talking about just daily life shit. You know what I'm saying? And how difficult things can be just for the common man. Period. So I can only imagine how difficult it is for a guy like Will Smith, a celebrity. You know what I'm saying? It didn't help any that his lady is really put him out there in these streets and just got him looking bad. You know what I mean? I don't care what the arrangement is. Like, she's the way he's holding her in a high regard, I don't feel like she holds him in that same high regard. You know what I'm saying? So from that aspect, I mean, listen, he bought that right hand from Front Street to Broad Street. For real. He bought it from Front Street to Broad Street, wound that thing up. You know what I'm saying? But man, at the end of the day, it's like, I know that's his wife, but I'm like, the way she's treated him, was she worth that moment? You know what I'm saying? And if you're going to smack Chris Rock, then you got to smack August Alsina. You got to smack a couple other people too. You know what I'm saying? Like, the smack tour going to have to continue. It can't just be Chris Rock and that's it. You know what I'm saying? But we all know if that was a different colored person, like, he'd have left out in cuffs. I think we can agree on that. The fact that he was able to do that and they didn't lock him up, and people like, oh, well, Chris Rock ain't pressing no charges. No, when you do something like that, right, they don't give you a chance to file charges. They lock you up first, and then if the person don't want to press charges, that's something different. That's like at a basketball game or a football game, if a person gets smacked or punched in the crowd or something like that, you know what I'm saying? Like, they'll get locked up. They'll get locked up right there on the spot. Why some you remember the Gary Russell fight? The Gary Russell fight happened and the Gary Russell card with Darrell, and the uncle came in and punched the dude in the face. They was, he made it out the arena, but the cops was looking for him. They wasn't waiting to see if Muskatiki wanted to press charges. They was looking for him. You know what I mean? So the fact that Will Smith didn't get locked up is he's lucky enough, but if I'm Chris Rock, I'm sorry. It wasn't gonna be no Oscars. It wasn't gonna be no Oscars, bro. Like, he smacked me in the face like that soon, and then he turned around with the cool 180 spin. Turned around with the cool 180 spin. He was like this. I was like, yo, he just gonna turn his back to the dude and just walk back all cool. He went from Will Smith to Fresh Prince to Mike Lowry. Crazy, bro. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. But I'm sorry. As soon as he turned around, I'd have clotheslined him like I'm Stone Cold Steve Austin, man. It'd have been, you'd have thought Vince McMahon would have been out there, man. It'd have got ugly. It wouldn't have been no Oscars. We'd have just had to scrap it out. We had to scrap it out. I'm not continuing with no show. For sure. He went straight Mike Lowry on the turn, bro. Bruce Cole said, hit me up. I'll give you my number. It's Bruce Cole. All right, I got you, bro. Yeah, because it's like two questions I gotta ask you, because I know we use the same setup. Why is him laughing? Said Mike Lowry. He went straight Mike Lowry on him. I was like, bro, like, I'm sorry. Like, listen, Chris Rock gonna get super rich off this. He gonna go on tour, and probably call it the Smack Tour or something like that. He gonna tour about 30, 40 cities, and he gonna make this a major bag, and then he's probably gonna sue Will Smith later on and probably get a cool 5-10 mil out of him. That's an expensive smack. You know what I'm saying? If Will Smith felt some type of way, should have had some of them West Philly boys or whoever he got, You know what I'm saying? Go pay Chris Rock a visit. Or they famous. They could have just went in the room and just squared it off. But, you know, Will Smith is a big dude. Like, Will Smith probably, he probably, what he about, like 6'3", about 6'3", about, he looked like he about 6'3", like 230, 235. Because I'm about 5'11", like 240, 245. Like, and Chris Rock, you know what I'm saying? Chris Rock can fight Boots Ennis right now. You know what I'm saying? And he ain't going to have no problem making weight. You know what I'm saying? So it's just crazy to see that. But, man, I can't wait to get Coach Padman McGriff on. That's gonna be epic, man. He's already doing work with Devin Haney. He just don't know how much work he's gonna be allowed to do with Devin Haney. So we definitely gonna chop it up with him Thursday, and that's gonna be big. That's gonna be big. We gonna stream that live. Actually, we'll probably do two joints. We'll probably do one on here, and then I'll probably have them on later on the gram, and we'll do a joint venture on the gram. But one of the best pad men strength and conditioning coaches in the business, no doubt about it. But June 5th in Australia, and if Devin Haney gets the victory, then he went to go see him again in Australia. So he might as well rent an apartment, get an Airbnb out there or something. You know what I mean? He's gonna be spending a lot of time out there in Australia. Might need citizenship out there. You know what I'm saying? For sure. But we had other action. I want to get to. I wish Shane was on here, but I really want to get to. I want to get to the Tim Tszyu fight. Tim Tszyu and Terrell Gausha, and there was a lot of people that thought Gausha was going to win this fight, and Gausha always disappoints me, man. Like he's that one dude. I'm just like, yo, he always leave food on the plate. He always leave food on the plate, man. Like when he fought Jermichael Clark, like that was the one time he looked impressive, and he just, he touched Clark early, you know what I'm saying? But he always leaves he always leave food on the plate, man. Never clean the plate. You know what I'm saying? And it's just disappointing because when you think of Terrell Gausha, you're thinking he's just a regular guy, but he was an Olympian. He was, you know what I'm saying? Like he was somebody as an amateur, had a real good record as an amateur. So he was supposed to be one of them guys. And I felt like it was the perfect matchup for Tim Tszyu. I wasn't expecting for Tim Tszyu to come in and just look crazy impressive and things like that. I wasn't expecting that at all. Guys that usually come to the United States for the first time, they usually struggle. Tim Tszyu, Tim Tszyu got a lot of holes in his game, man. He has a lot of holes in his game. And Terrell Gausha really just wasn't a person to really expose it long term. But yeah, Tim Tszyu. Anybody thinking Tim Tszyu is clearly that dude at 154, you are sadly mistaken. Sadly mistaken. That man got a lot of holes in his game, and they all defensively. Super timid. Yeah, bro. Oh my goodness. And Terrell Gausha always fights like that, just super timid. And the thing is, when I don't know if it's something that he just, he can't really get out of his. I don't know if it's a psyche. I don't know what it is, but YSM, the thing that's crazy, when he lets his hands go, he always has success. When he's timid is when he gets in trouble. That's the thing I don't understand. Like, I don't understand when it comes down to Terrell Gausha. When he let his hands go against Lubin, he got Lubin in trouble. He was active with the shots against Tim Tszyu, got a knockdown. He threw his hands against Jermichael Clark and got the stoppage. When he lets his hands go, when he's active, good things happen for him. Say always a bridesman, never a bride. That's a fact. That's 100% facts, bro. 100% facts, man. Like man, like he he never puts it all together, man. Like he never puts it all together. Like, and I was surprised, and it was people that like why is something like people that you and I know, like just in within boxing circles, and they like, yeah, we think Terrell Gausha gonna win that fight. I'm like, on what grounds? Like on what grounds? Like outside of Michael Clark, like he's not put together a good performance from top to bottom. And I'm a firm believer in your past more than likely is going to tell me what you're going to do going forward. And that usually holds true in boxing, unless you just make wholesale changes and just reinvent yourself. But Terrell Gausha, just like I said, he always leave food on the plate, and it's I don't want to say wasted talent, but just he don't have that drive. He don't have that drive. You know what I'm saying? So it's just crazy. Um, YSM Tim Zoo is Swiss cheese. He got a lot of holes, bro. A lot of holes, man. Swiss cheese for real. Like definitely. And I'm gonna mention a couple of them right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna mention a couple of them right now. Number one, his defense. He don't keep his bro. His head 12:30. I call it 12:30. Straight up and down. He keep his hand right. He don't get his head off the line. It's 12:30. You know what I'm saying? That's the first thing. Number two, he plays defense as if he's never fought anyone that made him think that he's gonna get something coming back. You could tell he goes into a fight and he doesn't think about, all right, I have to avoid this shot. I have to avoid that shot. And his transition from offense to defense is not good. And it's because he's not used to doing it. That's why you have to matchmake. I mean, why? We say this all the time, bro. Like matchmaking is 90% of the game, and you have to gradually, build your guys in fights and show them different things. But you have to develop them in the gym as well. So when they go into the ring against some of these guys with different styles, they're able to adapt. You know what I'm saying? You got to be a Swiss Army knife in there. And to be honest with you, he looks like he looks like a Brian Castano, just not as polished. He looks like a Castano, just not as polished. And Castano, for the most part, he's defensively responsible for a guy that throws so many shots and is in the pocket so much. You really don't see him taking too many big shots. But Tim Zoo, you got to ask yourself, just the people that watched that fight, were you impressed with that fight? Like the fact that he got up off the canvas and did what he had to do. Do you think he was exposed? What do you think of Tim Zoo going forward? Is he top, is he top 10? Is he top 10 at 154? Do you have him top 5 at 154? Do you have him top 15? Like talk to me. Like what do you have him at 154 after that performance? After that performance. You know what I'm saying? Like that performance is, I don't know. It's kind of similar to the Berlanga performance. Like with Berlanga has had trouble in his last couple fights. But the thing about Berlanga is he's shown that he's overcome adversity. But you could tell he got holes in his game. I got them same vibes with Tim Zoo. Like he's overcome adversity, so I know he's got he's got that internal, you know what I mean? He don't have no Chris Colbert going on. You know what I'm saying? He don't have no Chris Colbert going on. So he has holes in his game, but those holes can be covered depending on the opponent. You can't put Tim Zoo up against anybody. You can't put Berlanga up against anybody. Like they're not those types of talents. Like a guy like Floyd, like you can put him up against anybody, he's gonna have a legit shot at winning. Canelo, same thing. There's only a certain amount of guys you can put them up against almost any style, and you feel comfortable with them going into the fight. Tim Zoo is not that dude. Tim Zoo is not that dude. And I'm not, and yes, he won the fight. Yes, I'm giving him credit. Yes, I'm giving him credit. But the thing is, guys like YSM, Bruce Coles, Shane, Vlog, myself, like we watch fights differently. Like we watch fights differently. Like we watch them with a microscope. So there's a lot of things that Tim Tszyu was doing that was just technically is going to get him clipped when he fights better guys. And it's one thing to, you know, to try to walk your guy down and knowing that your guy can't really hurt you like that. But he was doing some things in there that really had me scratching my head, man. Like I was just like, yo, like I know Gachet is not, you know, I know Gachet is not like that dude, but at the same time, I'm like, bad habits is bad habits. Because if he goes in there with a Lubin and does those same things, he's getting beat. If J Rock is like typical J Rock, like, and we haven't seen typical J Rock in a while, but if J Rock was on his A game, like he gives him problems. Tony Harrison was on his A game, he gives Tim Tszyu problems. Like I think Charlo beats him. I think Castano beats him. I think Fundora would probably beat him. You know, I just wasn't from the technical side. I wasn't impressed with Tim Tszyu. And when I look at guys on the come up, I'm looking for what they do technically. And technically, I just seen a guy that can punch. He has good punch placement. Don't get me wrong. He got good punch placement. I love that little sneaky uppercut that he has. I love that little uppercut. You know what I'm saying? I love that uppercut. But there's a lot of stuff that he got to clean up. So I feel like if they try to match him up against the winner of Castano and Charlo next, bad move. Bad move. And I got a feeling that's probably what they're going to try to do. But that's a bad move. Tim Tszyu probably need about 3 more solid fights at 154 to really get him acclimated. Give him a Brian Peralta. Give him a Peralta fight. Possibly a Tony Harrison fight. That'll be a good fight for him. And maybe the loser of Lubin and Fundora. Give him those 3 fights. Give him an opportunity to get acclimated and, you know, fighting in the States, fighting higher level competition and things like that, and really groom him and prep him for a fight with Charlo and the Castano winner. Like, don't throw him in the next fight. He's not ready. He's not ready. He's not ready yet. Not ready. Andre Southgate, bro, what is going on with you, bro, man? Big salute to you, man. Andre, I see you be cooking on your channel, man. Like, I be like crazy busy. So what I do is like I'll just pick a time and I just kind of just run through all of the videos, man. But I'm definitely going to run through the videos, man. Big shout out to Andre Southgate, man. Go subscribe to him as well, man. Said salute here listening. Said Charlo will make Tim look bad if they fight now. Yeah, Charlo gets Tszyu up out of there. If Charlo is disciplined, like Charlo gets Tszyu up out of there. Like within 9. He gets him up out of there. And it's not even the fact that I think Charlo is like all world. It's the fact that Tim Tszyu got so many defensive holes. Jermell would have a field day. He would have a field day against Tim Tszyu offensively. He will look hella clean in there against Jermell Charlo. I mean, it'd be crazy. It'd be absolutely crazy. So we're gonna see what happens with Tim Tszyu. And man, I think he got a long road ahead of him. You know, he's a prospect with a famous name, famous last name, but he needs a lot of work. He needs a lot of work. And I'm not going to be able to see how much work he actually needs until he steps in with better competition. And 154 is filled with guys that are B minus, C plus, C average fighters. So there's plenty of guys that he can fight that are winnable fights, and then he can tighten some things up from a technical standpoint as well. So I'm looking forward to see what Tim Tszyu can do going forward. I like Tim Tszyu. I like Tim Tszyu. It's just I don't want people to think when you give your honest criticism of a fighter, if you say anything negative, they think you don't like the fighter. No, like I like Tim Tszyu. I like Tim Tszyu, but people were talking about Tim Tszyu like he was like A level. He's not A level. He's not A level. Like he's a B level fighter. He's a B level fighter But if he gets some of these technical things cleaned up, he can become a A- fighter at 154. Key is at 154. So we're gonna see what we're gonna see what Tim Tszyu does going forward. As far as Terrell Gausha goes, listen, it is what it is with Terrell Gausha. Like, it's just so many times he just leave you hanging, and you want to root for him, and you know he's skilled, you know he's talented. But I'm at a point where I stop looking for something from fighters that has never shown me that before, or is not consistent when giving me what I'm looking for. I'll be looking for Terrell Gausha to turn up, let his hands go, just turn up, and he does it so few times, so few and far between. It's just frustrating. But I said the same thing about Gabe Rosado. I go into every Gabe Rosado fight, I'm like, yo, if the fight close, 9th round, 10th round, turn up, just turn up. You know what I'm saying? And he ain't start turning up until like recently. You know what I'm saying? So Terrell Gausha, like, he is who he is. He's a middle of the pack guy at 154. I mean, he's not, in my eyes, he's not a top 10 guy. He may not even be a top 15 guy at 154. He may be in that 10 to 15 range, maybe. But if a guy like Danny Garcia wanted to come up to 154, Terrell Gausha will be a safe bout for Danny. He'd be a safe bout for Danny. Like, any fighter at 147 that wants to come out to 154, then test the waters. Terrell Gausha is your guy. Terrell Gausha is your guy. And again, there's no disrespect to him as a fighter, as a boxer, as a man. Like, it's no disrespect at all. But it's just, when you give out middle of the pack performances against upper level guys, then we're going to call you a middle of the pack fighter. I don't like using gatekeeper. I hate using that word. I don't even like that word. I don't like that word. But I feel like Terrell Gausha, he's a guy that gets a lot of opportunities, but he just don't cash in on the opportunities because I just feel like he's too, like, why is I'm saying he's too timid. Like, he's just too hesitant. Like, he think, like, when you think in defense too much, then you not, at some point it's gonna look like you're not in it to win the fight. It's gonna look like a sparring session. So a lot of that fight with Tim Tszyu looked like a sparring session. It looked like he was in there just working with him, except for going in there and actually winning the fight. Even when he got the knockdown against Tim Tszyu, I don't even think he meant that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even think he meant that, but it just never looked like he was in there to actually win the fight. He was just super defensive, and you can't win a fight like that. You can't win a fight like that. If you super defensive, the only way you're gonna win is unless you hit him with the money shot. Once he hit Tim Tszyu with a shot and knocked him down, it was a flash knockdown, and he got right back up. I'm just like, oh boy. Like, once I seen he didn't really let his hands go after that, I was just like, this is gonna be a long night. And it shouldn't be like that for a guy that you just knocked down. Shouldn't be like that. Andre Southgate said, no doubt, I agree. Yeah, I'm looking forward to see the development of Tim Tszyu, and I hope they don't rush the kid, but I think they are going to rush him. Same thing with Berlanga. I think they're going to rush Berlanga. I know I've been pumping Berlanga and my man Jesse Hart, but shout out to Jesse. But Berlanga's not ready for that fight. And I know people got that Joe Smith fight in their head when it comes down to Jesse Hart. He's not ready for Jesse Hart at 168. I put change on that. I will put some change on that. And this is not excuses. This is facts. Jesse Hart was hurt a couple of days before that Joe Smith fight. His hand got injured. And that's a fact. That's a fact. You can ask anybody in the city of Philadelphia. So if you thinking that Jesse Hart that showed up against Joe Smith would show up against Berlanga, sadly mistaken. But I'm interested in seeing these guys' developments because they still have to develop as fighters, even though from a media standpoint, they get promoted like they monsters. They're not monsters. Like, you know what I'm saying? I know a monster when I see one. Like, back in the day, Julian Jackson was a monster. Nobody had to tell me he was a monster. You didn't have to promote him like he was a monster. I knew he was a monster. George Foreman back in the day. You knew he was a monster. Mike Tyson, you knew he was a monster. You knew he was a killer. You knew he was a killer. And you got different types of monsters. You got different types of killers. You know, you don't have to be the one hitter quitter guy. You know what I'm saying? Like Roy Jones was a killer. He's a different type of killer, but he was a killer. James Toney was a killer. You know, guys like that, like, I mean, you could take it back, man. Ernie Shavers, killer. They was reaching so much with Berlanga, saying that he's just this killer, and I just never seen it. They promote Tim Tszyu like he a killer. I don't see it. You know, and just because you got a knockout streak does not make you a killer. Like Gary Antoine Russell is 15 and over 15 knockouts, but nobody thinks of him as a natural power guy. He's an activity guy. That's what he is. You know what I'm saying? Andre Southgate, do you think Jesse Hart would have beaten Joe Smith if he was 100%? I don't know. I don't know. And that's the honest thing. That's the honest to God truth. Andre Southgate. I did an interview with Jesse Hart before the fight. And I remember he was on Instagram Live. And I asked him, was he cool? He was like, yeah, he was cool. But I heard it through the grapevine that he injured his hand in a sparring session that he wasn't even supposed to be in. It wasn't planned. And I found out that he had the injury, but it was too late for him to pull out. Like he couldn't pull out. Like it was a couple days for the fight. People already had their hotels and all that other stuff ready, lined up. So he just had to go. Would he have beat Joe Smith? I don't know. Joe Smith is really good, and he was fighting at his natural weight. Jesse Hart was fighting in Joe Smith's natural weight. Joe Smith might have still won that fight. I don't know. Jesse would have to fight a clean 10 rounds against Joe Smith. And like Jesse Hart is so emotionally invested when he gets in the ring. I don't know if he would afford a full 10 disciplined rounds against Joe Smith, and that's what it would have required. I think it would have been a 50-50 fight. It would have been a 50-50 fight for real. But Jesse Hart could have beaten Joe Smith if he was 100%. It's hard to say, man. It's hard to say because it was a personal matchup for Jesse Hart. I just don't know if he would have went in thinking just strictly boxing, just technical stuff. He had a lot of emotions going into that fight as well. Andre Southgate, for sure, Tyson was one of those dudes before the bell. You knew what was up. James Toney, great fighter. Not much people talk about him. That's my favorite fighter of all time. Anybody that knows me knows that. James Toney is my favorite fighter of all time, man. Like he went on a run where he fought I think he had like 7 or 8 title defenses in like a year and a half, 2-year span. And I remember one of the fights was on HBO. I'm trying to think who he fought as a dude. He was actually trained by Lou Duva. And I know his nickname was the Doctor. It was the Doctor, and he got a real bad cut in that fight. And I think it was like the third round, I think it was like the second round or something like that. Second or third round. And he had to basically get him up out of there because they didn't know if they was going to score that as a punch or a headbutt. And he could have lost his belt off of that cut. And that was the only reason he took a break during that time. And man, James Toney, like I said, man, I can sit and watch James Toney fights all night long. No, it wasn't Montel Griffin. And Andre Southgate, you won't get me to look up this name, man. And I'm mad I don't know his name because he had on light blue shorts. And I remember, I know his nickname is the Doctor, and I'm about to look it up right now. Give me a second. I hate the fact that I'm horrible with names, man. Like, I am horrible with names. Like, it's bad, bro. It's bad. And he had Lou Duva in his corner. Man, hold on a second. I gotta check this. No, that's not it. Here you go. And I'm gonna be mad when I see this name. So let me see. Yeah, it wasn't Montel Griffin. It was Tim Littles, the Doctor of Style. That was his nickname, the Doctor of Style, Tim Littles. And I remember that fight because Oscar De La Hoya was the main event on that card. That was an HBO card. Doctor of Style, Tim Littles. That's one of my favorite James Toney fights. I love watching that fight, and I love watching the Iran Barkley fight. Those two fights, absolutely love. Those two of my favorite James Toney fights that I like to watch. The Montel Griffin fight, Andre, was crazy too, because when he caught Montel Griffin with that shot, and he just went dancing. He lost his legs, his mind, the whole thing. He was dancing across the ring like it was crazy. He said, I think I recall that fight. I'll definitely watch it back. Yeah. James Toney versus the Doctor Style, Tim Littles. And Tim Littles had a little bit of success against James Toney too. And James Toney, he went into every fight back in the day with the same game plan. Same game plan. He's looking for a lazy jab, counter it over the top with the right hand. And he will be super patient with it. He'd be super patient with it. James Toney was ahead of his time, man. He was ahead of his time, and one of the best to ever do it. If he had Floyd Mayweather's work ethic, he would be top 10 all time in my book. He'd be top 10 all time in my book. He would have never had a run at heavyweight, and he probably would have maxed out at probably maybe like 175 if he was like disciplined. Said that was a Ortiz Martin moment for the Griffin shot. Absolutely. Absolutely. And a lot of things that we see now, they've happened already in boxing. They've already happened in boxing history. Like when Michael Conlan got knocked out of the ring. We've seen plenty of guys get knocked out the ring. Bernard Hopkins got knocked out the ring. We've seen a bunch of dudes get knocked out the ring. You know what I'm saying? So, that wasn't a surprise. And we got to cover Josh Warrington, man. Josh Warrington, Kiko Martinez. Josh Warrington got the dub, 7th round stoppage. And Warrington fought well. And I was talking to my guy, Boxing First Vlog, about this fight, man. Big shout out to the big bro, Boxing First Vlog. And I'm watching the fight with Warrington, and I'm like, yo, I know Vlog can't stand these shoulder shots that he's throwing at Kiko Martinez. And there's nothing wrong with throwing your shoulder a little bit. And it's like when you're trying to pivot and you trying to get on the inside, or you trying to throw the shoulder like this to knock your guy back a little bit. And that's an old school move. You throw the shoulder like this, you get them to back up a little bit, just get yourself enough punching space, and then you give them the short shots. So you go boom, pop, pop. You know what I'm saying? But it's smooth though. It was nothing smooth about Josh Warrington doing the shoulder bump. He was literally it was so blatant. And it wasn't smooth. He didn't camouflage it at all. He got warned 3-4 times about that shoulder. He was coming in with his head. He was Josh Warrington mashed on the gas from the start. And he was like, this old dude either going to keep up or he going to get ran over. And that's the correct game plan when you're facing a guy like Kiko Martinez. And even with Kiko Martinez losing the fight and losing his belt to Josh Warrington still walked out of there with a broken jaw. He still walked out of there with a broken jaw. Crazy. Clean break, too. For the people that don't know about that, Eddie Hearn put it up on Twitter. He put it up on Twitter. saying, yo, like it was a clean break. So Josh Warrington has had a hard couple of fights, you know what I'm saying? But he's a champion again. I'm pretty sure they're gonna throw him right back in the Lions Den. He's gonna face, I would put him up against top names right now. Cash, get the cash money fights right now. Get him right now because he's already shown that he can lose to a guy that's not known. You don't want to run that risk again. So hopefully Josh Warrington recovers. And for Kiko Martinez, I just think he had his career defining night, became a champion, and then, once they lined him up against Josh Warrington, he was behind the 8 ball. And I felt like he fought as well as he could. But it's just, Josh Warrington was just a better man. And it's gonna be interesting to see what they do with Josh Warrington going forward. But like I said, all big money fights from here on, he should take them. Nakatalia got a huge victory over Miguel Berchelt. Berchelt, man, lost in the six round stoppage. And the thing that's crazy about Berchelt, and I don't know if this is a situation where he's just kind of on a bad streak or he's still having the effects of the Valdez knockout, but a lot of those wild and crazy leaning shots that he was throwing against Valdez that got in clip was those same type shots that he was throwing against Nakatalia, and Nakatalia was just taking that half step, full step back, and just he had open season. Like Nakatalia, I ain't never seen Nakatalia look that good offensively. Man, he looked hella good offensively, man. He giving you all types of shots. He was landing combinations with the right hand, the hook. He was finishing some combinations with the jab, landing the jab flush. He taking half step back, full steps back, step to the side, half step to the side, full step to the side, completely just turning Berchelt. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what's a good situation for Berchelt, going forward. But 135, I mean, it's a stacked division. So, I mean, he could definitely get fights. But, I mean, what do you do with Berchelt? Do you put him up against lesser known guys? He was supposed to beat Nakatalia. But, what do you do? Is he kind of like a gatekeeper for the bigger names now? Or do you try to rebuild him and just be careful with the type of opponents you put in there with him? Like, I actually like the Nakatalia style matchup. I thought the style matchup was okay because fighting Valdez and coming off the knockout loss, you didn't want to fight a guy that had like real big knockout power, and Nakatalia doesn't have that. So I didn't have a problem with the matchup. It just didn't go well for him. Andre Southgate Berchelt trying to bank on the KO, not focused enough. The thing is, bro, Andre, I'm gonna tell you this about Berchelt. Berchelt has spent a lot of his career being the bigger man. He has spent a lot of his career being the bigger man, and he won a lot of his fights just off of sheer this power, strength, and being a bigger man and being technically good enough to just overwhelm his opponents. I don't know, bro. I don't know. I look back on Berchelt and I'm like, damn, like, was your cap 130? Was your cap 130 pounds? Like, because you came in with the size advantage. Now he's at 135. And you see that with some fighters. I mean, look at Broner. 130, 135. He's killing everything. Like, he's killing everything moving. 147, he became an average fighter because he wasn't the bigger man in a lot of those fights. Guys is more talented, just as talented as him physically, and he had to figure things out. And I think Berchelt is going to have to do the same thing. I think he's going to have to figure things out. I don't know. I heard he was talking about retirement or something like that. I don't know if that's true. If that's true, I mean, I hope not. I hope it's not true. I hope it's not true. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes you can have bad nights at the office. And I think the Oscar Valdez fight, I think that was, Oscar Valdez being on the finest juices. You know what I'm saying? He was probably on the finest juices in that fight, but then his fight after that, he was definitely on juices. And we don't know if he was on anything in that Berchelt fight. And I hate to say that, but once you get caught once, you give the boxing public an opportunity to question everything you've ever done inside of the ring. So I hope that wasn't the case with Berchelt, because if it is, that's a clear indication of like how that can really affect a fighter for the rest of their career. I'm a big fan of Berchelt. Nakatalia did a great job, man. He's up for a bigger fight. You know what I'm saying? He's up for a bigger fight. And give me Nakatalia and give me Nakatalia and maybe Nakatalia and I don't know, maybe a Lee Selby. Like give me a Nakatalia and a Lee Selby maybe. I don't know. It's a lot of action for him at 135. I don't know exactly what he's gonna do. I don't know exactly what he's gonna do, but we're gonna see what happens going forward with Berchelt and what kind of opportunity Nakatalia is gonna get. Trying to think what else. Said yeah, Berchelt wasn't expecting that for sure. No, and Andre, you know what was killing? You know what was killing Berchelt? Berchelt is so used to leaning forward and lunging his shots and getting to his target. He's not used to fighting guys that is taking that full step back while he's lunging, and he's just leaving himself wide open, just exposed. Like he will lean and force shots halfway across the ring. He will literally go halfway across the ring with you, and you can take 2 full steps back and then plant your feet and just meet him. And meet him. His hands is just like this. All this just wide open, all that. You know what I'm saying? And that's how Valdez caught him with the shot. And Valdez could have knocked him out with that shot with or without the juices. That's how clean that shot was. But Choate has created a lot of bad habits fighting at 130, being the bigger guy. And I felt like Broner had a lot of bad habits because he felt like he was the bigger guy. He just wasn't doing things technically, being technically responsible defensively. And it just came back to really just bite him. You know what I'm saying? Came back to bite him. But we're gonna see what happens with Berchelt and Nakatalia. Eddie Hearn's favorite fighter, Ebony Bridges. She finally wins the title. I'm saying finally, she won the title in her second attempt at a title, and she looked good for the majority of the fight. Later rounds, she was starting to get touched a little bit, but she did enough to pull through. And she trains in Philly when she's not in her home country. So big shout out to Ebony Bridges and her winning the title, man. That's a big moment for any fighter. And I know she's known for the chest and all that. But that girl got heart. That girl got heart, and that girl can fight. And I'm definitely checking the women's scene, man. So I'm checking for Ebony Bridges. She a champion now. Alicia Baumgartner, that's the baddest chick in the game, as far as I'm concerned. Zarina McCoy, Ada Biggs, people like that. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of solid fighters, a lot of solid, and of course Clarissa Shields and all of them as well. Like women's boxing is in a good place. I just want to see more women get developed, and so the women's boxing sport can actually expand. Because like right now, because of the lack of female fighters, a female can literally go 4-0, 5-0, 6-0, and be ready for a title shot. You know what I'm saying? Like women, they get to get title shots in under 10 fights. You know what I'm saying? Will Stokes in the building, man. Season 2. Winner of the Prediction Fantasy League, man. Big shout out to Will Stokes, man. Congrats to Will Stokes. He got a cool 550 schmackaroos coming his way and championship belt. We got to get that thing made for you, Will. So I'll be getting in contact with you probably before the week is out, and then we'll work out some things and get the prize out to you. You know what I'm saying? So big shout out to Will Stokes. That's family right there. He said the Get Smacked edition. He said we talking Chris Rock. Absolutely. Let me know what did you think about it. I talked about it a little bit earlier, but Chris Rock is I don't know what to call that, man. I can't even call people saying like he remained professional. Like, man, forget the cameras. Like I said, it wouldn't have been no it wouldn't have been no Oscars, man. I said as soon as Will Smith turned around, I'd have clubbed him. I'd have clubbed him. We'd had to both get locked up that night. Real rap. I'm not gonna let no grown man smack me and then I go on like nothing happened. From what I know, he ain't pull up on him after the fight. Will Smith partying and all that. I'm like, oh man. I'm like, come on now. Like, he better than me. He better than me. I'd have went straight North Philly on Will Smith. That's a fact. Said Andre Southgate, I'm still listening, bro. Can't really stay for much longer. Tied up at work. What's your take on the Kambosos Haney fight? I think it will be closer than people think. It really depends on how Haney approaches it. I did touch on that a little earlier, and Andre, I'm getting up out of here in a couple minutes anyway. I just really wanted to touch down and reach out to y'all. But I think it's Haney's fight to lose. But if Kambosos comes in there fully prepared, and there's some technical things that we're looking for from Haney. If he's not technically on point, Kambosos is going to give him problems. Kambosos is going to give him problems, and he's going to have to weather that early storm too. He's fighting at home. Them juices is going to be flowing, and he has to stay patient, stay composed in them first 4 rounds. You got to make sure that he's at least 2-2. After 4 rounds, and then they can start trying to break Kambosos down. But Andre Southgate, I'll message you. I'll definitely let you know. He only working with my guy, strength conditioning coach, Padman McGriff from out of Vegas, man. And we're gonna have him on the show, and we're gonna talk all Kambosos and Devin Haney, all Kambosos, Devin Haney. So I'll definitely let you know when. Probably Thursday. Said Will Stokes, congratulations. Yeah, big shout out to Will Stokes, man. Winner of the season 2 boxing prediction fantasy league, $550 to my man Will Stokes in a championship belt. So big shout out to Will Stokes. Season 3 is going to start probably in a couple weeks. We need to have a roundtable meeting about the rules and the improvements that y'all want to see for season 3. We could definitely get into that. Let's see. Miles Williams, did you watch Warrington Martinez 2G5? I thought Warrington was a bit dirty in that fight. Yeah, he was definitely a little dirty. He was definitely a little dirty in that fight, for sure. You know what, Miles? This is the thing. Good fighters that actually do those moves, like they might take their head and move it to the side to get positioning. They'll use their shoulder to create space. He was so blatant with it, it just looked dirty. But a lot of fighters use those moves, but they smooth with it, like it's within their natural motion, so it don't look dirty. He was using old school tactics. He just wasn't good at it, so it looked dirty. You know what I mean? But I did think he was a little dirty in that fight. A little dirty in that fight. But I don't think it was. I think because he's not good at doing old school moves, and I think somebody just showed him that in camp, and he just didn't look comfortable doing it. I think the referee probably should have pulled a point from him. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. I thought he's a little dirty though, Miles, like for sure. Andre Southgate, I agree, going to be a tough one. Yeah, that's a tough fight for Kambosos, man. That's a tough fight for Kambosos. I think he's going to have to get Haney's attention within the first 4 rounds. He wanted to get his attention with a shot that gets Haney's attention, because Haney's not going to win a boring fight out there in Australia. Like, he can't just go in there and just box his fight and be cool. Like, he has to win clearly. He has to win clearly out there. Will Stokes, Kambosos, Haney is an epic fight. One of my top 10 fights in boxing I want to see. Will Stokes is a real good fight, man. It's a real good fight. And people, they still sleeping on Kambosos, man. Kambosos was in camps with Manny Pacquiao and some of the top guys out of that gym, man. And he's battle tested. He's battle tested. And don't get me wrong, I think Devin Haney's a clear favorite, but I would not be surprised if Kambosos pulls off an upset. I would not be surprised. Miles Williams, I'm in for season 3 fantasy league, bro. Listen, we gonna have a roundtable meeting on how we gonna make season 3 better. It's gonna be more than one winner. It's gonna be multiple prizes. It's gonna be I got a big surprise coming up for season 3 as well. We got somebody sponsoring the league, man, and it's going to be huge. It's a huge name, bro. Huge name is going to be sponsoring the league this year, man. But I'm going to let that cat out the bag in another week or two. We actually got to make a little commercial for it. Andre Southgate, peace, bro. Hope to catch you next time. Yeah, we're going to be I'm going to be back on. I might be on early tomorrow, so I got to go to the Sixers game tomorrow. But Wednesday we'll definitely be back on, and then Thursday I'll be back on. Just trying to get things tightened up with the guys, man. BoxingFirstVlog going through his thing right now. So we're just trying to be patient with that situation. Shane is like traveling right now, so he's not at home field. So we're just trying to work things out, man. Next couple shows, you might just get me dolo. You know what I'm saying? Chris G said, I think Haney will cruise to a decision and slightly win each round. See, Chris G, that's the thing. If he wasn't fighting in Australia, I would be very comfortable saying that. But I think he's going to put a little extra oomph on this performance because he's on the road. He's on enemy turf. So those barely winning rounds, that's not going to work. Like, he's going to have to turn up every single round and clearly win these rounds, man, to the point to where they can't rob him. You know what I'm saying? If he makes it close, he's giving them an opportunity to rob him. And that's what I'm looking for in this fight. If he's fighting anywhere else, Chris G, I agree with you 110%. Will Stokes, 5. If one of them gets KO'd, what do you think it'd be? Haney or Kambosos? Damn, that's a good question, bro. I just can't see. There's some technical stuff going on with Devin Haney to where the power is not really showing. And I know Boxing First Vlog always says, like, yeah, it's the shoulder, but it's some technical things that he does too that doesn't maximize his physical strength. He's too athletic and too physically gifted to not be putting guys down. And I think he really should be putting guys down. And he's just not putting guys down. So hopefully with him working with Padman and McGriff, hopefully they can clean some of those things up and he can get maximum weight on his shots. Because I feel like it's crazy because I feel like the Devin Haney that's in sparring is completely different than the Devin Haney that actually fights in the actual fight. Like, if you see Devin Haney in the gym, like Devin Haney, when he spars in the gym, like, he's a killer. Like, he's a killer. Like, he's coming for it all. You rarely see that in an actual fight with Devin Haney, especially over the past maybe like 2 years. You rarely see that. You know what I'm saying? I'm kind of waiting for. He's going to fight like sparring session Devin Haney. You know what I mean? He just turn up on guys. So if I had to say, I would say it's kind of 50-50. I would say I could see George Kambosos getting Devin Haney hurt. I could see Haney getting George Kambosos hurt. I don't think I see either guy knocking the other guy out. I don't see it. I would say 50-50. But it's a really, really intriguing matchup from a style standpoint because it depends on how much homework Kambosos is doing on Haney. The reason why Kambosos was so successful against Teofimo is that he basically studied Teofimo for over a year. Everything was Teofimo Lopez, and he knew his every move. He even had a coach in his camp that knew Teofimo since he was a kid. So he had the drop on Teofimo. He had the drop on Teofimo. So you watched a guy that was completely focused and did all of his homework and some on his opponent, and that was the result that you got with Kambosos and Teofimo Lopez. And I know Teofimo and his dad just did an interview recently about that fight, and they're still kind of in their feelings about that fight and saying different things. And the thing about it, Mike, if Teofimo wasn't right health wise, he wasn't right health wise. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't not give Kambosos credit, or you blaming the zone, or you blaming whoever you want to blame. At the end of the day, if your guy couldn't breathe going into the fight and he had a condition and a doctor came out and said he could have died, then that's what it was. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what it was. Like, you can't say, oh, well, this was a setup, this, that, and the third. Like, which one was it? Was it a setup, or was Teofimo not physically fit to fight in that fight? We've seen fighters not go into fights with injuries. I mean, we see it all the time. You know what I'm saying? So if he had a problem with his lungs or whatever the case may be that prevented him from being Teofimo Lopez that night, if that's what it was, that's what it was. You know what I'm saying? But you can't have it both ways. You can't have it both ways, man. You playing both sides of the street, man. You eventually gonna get ran over, and that's a fact. You eventually gonna get ran over. Trying to think, is there anything that I didn't cover? There's actually a lot I didn't cover, but I didn't I wasn't in it to really cover absolutely everything. You know what I'm saying? Will Stokes, Kambosos clearly outboxed him. I gave T.O. 2 or 3 rounds. I don't remember what my scorecard was, but I think I had it. Did I have it 8-4 Kambosos? I might have had it 8-4 Kambosos. But I thought Kambosos clearly won the fight. I thought he clearly won the fight. I don't think I didn't have it 10-2. I know I didn't have it 10-2. I think I probably had it like 8-4, 8-4 or 7-5. Kambosos. I thought like Kambosos did a really good job in that fight, man. But you could tell he did his homework on Teofimo, man. Like, so that's what makes this Haney fight so interesting, man. Like, I don't know. I haven't seen Devin Haney out of his element. I haven't really seen him out of his element. He's kind of been in cruise control his whole career. We've seen Kambosos out of his element. We've seen him battle adversity. We've seen him in there with top level guys. We've seen him in the gym with some of the greats. I don't know what Kambosos is going to bring to the table, but I know if he's out of his comfort zone, I know he'll be okay. With Devin Haney, if he gets out of his comfort zone, I don't know if he's going to be okay. The only time I seen him out of his comfort zone was when he got hit with the shot against Linares, and he pretty much played it safe, which he was supposed to do. He played it safe. That was a smart thing. You know what I'm saying? That was a smart thing. So we'll see. Especially since he's probably been training for Loma for a bunch of time, and now he has to switch to Haney. Will Stokes, that's a great point. That's something that Shane talked about off camera. But that's a great point. It's really a great point. Because it's two completely different styles. It's completely different styles. Loma, Southpaw, you know what I'm saying? But he squares up too like an orthodox guy. You know what I'm saying? Devin Haney really doesn't do that. Two completely different styles. Loma plays a lot of games with his legs. Devin Haney's good with his legs too, but he's just pure boxer, just pure boxer. So how much has he been focusing on Haney so far? Probably not much. Probably definitely not more than Loma, because that fight was done. That fight was done. Like I reported that fight was done. Like done. But because of the Ukraine and Russia thing, like it's just Kambosos just had to go in a different direction. So to expect the same laser type focus and knowledge of his opponent like he had with Teofimo, that's not going to be the case in this fight. That's not going to be the case in this fight. That's why I'm saying like it's up to Devin Haney to make this fight as smooth as possible. And there's some things technically that he can do that can make this a very pleasing fight for him. but I'm real curious to see if he's going to do it. And we're going to talk with Padman McGriff about that. Not get into too much detail, but we definitely going to talk about that in this, going into this fight, man. But I'm really looking forward to it. We got a lot of good action coming up, and I know this was the Smack edition because of Will Smith and Chris Rock. As far as I'll say this before we get up out of here, as far as Will Smith is concerned, as a man, I don't know what you've gone through, like emotionally, mentally. Mental health is a serious thing, and obviously, you definitely hit your boiling point. And there's a lot of things we don't know because I'm pretty sure a lot of the issues that you've had or have that led you to that point are private. It's just like Chris Rock being the person that you chose to smack. I don't even have a problem with that. If that's who you wanted to smack and you felt in your heart, you felt like you had a legit reason to do it, then fine. It's just, you put your name, you put your reputation on the line for someone that you are married to. Don't get it wrong. And they say for better or for worse. And I don't know what your situation was or what y'all arrangement was in terms of the type of marriage y'all had. But based off of the outside looking in, like Jada Pinkett didn't put Will Smith in the highest of regards when it comes down to how the public perceives him. Like her speaking her truth actually made Will Smith look bad. It made him look bad. And me personally, if for better or for worse, I'm not putting my name and my reputation out there for somebody that's not gonna put their name and their reputation out there for me. And it just seemed like, like I said, I don't care what kind of setup it is. Like, even if he said like, all right, it's cool for her to deal with August Alsina, but they was out in public with it. Like, that's disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's disrespectful. So as far as Will Smith is concerned, I hope he's okay, just from a mental and emotional standpoint. But, if he's frustrated with, Chris Rock and, he smacked Chris Rock, I need for him to pull up on August Alsina too, and a couple other people. Because a lot of people have said things about him and his wife and things like that. I'm like, this can't be the only person that's on the Smack tour. If Will Smith is going to go on the Smack tour, I need for him to pull up to one of August Alsina shows and pull up and give him one with the left hand, swinging from Front Street to Broad Street. You understand what I'm saying? The Smack tour can't start and end with Chris Rock if that's the route that he's going. As far as Chris Rock is concerned, I hope he's okay as well. I don't think he really deserved that. And you could tell there was probably some type of beef or tension between them two prior to that happening. You can just tell, you know what I'm saying? And I almost felt like something was missing. I felt like I'm missing something. Like the smack happened and it's just people like, was it staged? Was it not staged? Like what just happened? So I really don't know. I really don't know. I hope, Chris Rock will be okay going forward. Of course, he's going to make some money off of this, man. Like they said, he's not going to press charges, but trust me, they're going to work out some hush money. They're going to work out some hush money. And just as a man, as far as Chris Rock is concerned, I know you probably outweighed by like 70, 80 pounds. Bro, it don't matter, bro. Like, you got to set up that fair one, bro. You got to set up that fair one, man. Like, y'all both famous. I know y'all both in y'all 50s or whatever the case may be. I don't care. Y'all got to lock up in a room and square that off. Y'all got to lock up in a room and square that off, man. I know Chris Rock played it off like a professional and just continue to do the show because that's what he was there to do, to host the Oscars. But the Oscars is not here anymore, bro. The Oscars is not here anymore. And bottom line is a grown man smacked the shit out of you on live TV. smack the shit out of you on live TV. There is no talking it down or talking it out or nothing like that. We not talking it down or talking it out until I get a fair one. Like, if that happened to me, is either we gonna arrange a fair one in private. We can go in the office room, whatever. I don't care where the location is, a street block, a office or something, and 5 minutes. And we gotta square that off. We gotta get this one-on-one, and we gotta square it off. It's either that or like my man Uncle Shay, like Uncle Shay Sharp said, man, like it's on site. It's on site. When I see you, it's on site. It don't matter if it's TV, cameras rolling. It's on site. You know what I'm saying? There's no way in hell I'm letting a grown man smack me like that and then walk away like he Mike Lowry. He walked away like I thought I was watching Bad Boys 2. I said, yo, did he just do a half 180 spin and just walked away all smooth like it was Mike Lowry and shit? I was like, what the fuck? I said, what the hell is going on? It's crazy. Let's see, my guy Padman McGriff in the building, man. I've been talking about you all show, big bro, man. We gonna get it popping. Probably I gotta go to a game tomorrow, man. So probably maybe Wednesday or Thursday, we'll get on and chop it up, man. Padman McGriff is in the building, man, working with Devin Haney right now, man. And we definitely gonna have him on the show this week, man. Big shout out to my bro. Will Stokes, do you think it's bad that Will Smith won the Oscar 20 minutes after smacking the fuck out of Rock on live TV? No, because that not really, because he was already voted as the winner before it happened. You know what I'm saying? It just made Will Smith look bad. It just made him look bad, because I'm like, if he really had a problem with Chris Rock, he could have squared that off behind closed doors. You know what I mean? To do that in public on national TV for the world to see, and then you show your emotions live on TV for the world to see, he can't get mad going forward when the public's making comments about it or making memes about it, or they want to talk about it during interviews. Whenever you see Will Smith on camera now, ain't nobody gonna be wanting to talk about no movies he working on, or no TV shows, or his kids, or what he wants to do in the future. They gonna want to talk this Chris Rock shit. You know what I'm saying? They gonna want to talk this Chris Rock shit, man. So I don't think it was bad that he won the Oscar after 20 minutes, because he deserved an Oscar. He should have been had one, because he's had other acting performances that deserved an Oscar. But the fact that Will Smith put himself on the line like that for someone, even though it's his wife, that is disrespecting him greatly in public, I wouldn't have done it. I would have tried to handle. And I'm not saying he was wrong for getting at Chris Rock. I'm not gonna put my livelihood and my name and all of that on the line for somebody that's not gonna do the same for me. I don't care if we married or not. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is. He said, like, I know they decide who wins before the show starts, but don't you think they should have switched the winner? Man, literally assaulted someone and then wins Best Actor. Yeah, I just think if that would have been the case, then there would have been evidence that it was staged, like it was fake. It's no way you're doing something live and then you just on the fly, like you just change, you just change things up, like you won't go with the script. You know what I'm saying? So that's just what they did. Pat, man, anything for you brothers? Hey, man, we appreciate you, man. You family out the gate. See, he didn't win an Oscar for that garbage ass slap. That nigga slap like Britney Spears looking at. Yo, he leaned back. Yo, hey, coach. I ain't know he was smacking and trying to dip a hook all at the same time. He was like this. Like he's trying to swat a fly. Like it was crazy, man. But people talking about like, yeah, Will Smith looked bad. I'm more disappointed in Chris Rock. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. There is no way There is no way I'm not getting locked up. I'm getting locked up. Real rap. I'm getting locked up for assault. And Will Smith is lucky that he didn't get locked up for assault. And like I said before, if it was a different person, different skin color and all that, he'd have been locked up for assault out the gate. And he wouldn't have been let out until they found out the person didn't want to file charges. But this is definitely a civil suit. It's a civil suit for sure. Like Chris Rock, Will Smith going to cut that check. And as far as Chris Rock is concerned, he's either gonna have to, like I said earlier, they both rich, they both famous, they both got enough back channel people to work something out where they can go to a private location and get a fair one in for 5 to 10 minutes. Get a fair one in for 5 to 10 minutes. Like, just for Chris Rock as a man, I don't care how old you are, as a man, whether you feel like he was right, wrong, justified, not justified, you smack me, we got to get this fair one in. We got to get this fair one in. Like, I'm not going to feel comfortable moving forward in life, period, if we don't get this fair one in. Like, we got to get this fair one in. And if he doesn't agree to a fair one, then I'm running down on him whenever I see him. I'm running down on him whenever I see him. Like, it's on whenever I see him. I don't care if it's in a McDonald's parking lot. I don't care if it's at a Target, a Walmart, the movie theater. It does not matter. If I'm Chris Rock, if I see Will Smith in anywhere in my vicinity, it's on. It's on. If I can't get my fair one, it's on sight when I see him. And if Chris Rock ain't responding like that, if he ain't bringing it like that, then just as a man, you got to kind of question yourself, man. You got to kind of question yourself, at the end of the day. And I know it's a size difference and all that, but man, screw all that. Ain't no weight classes in the streets. Ain't no weight classes in the streets. You can see a dude 130, 140 pounds fighting a dude that's 240 pounds. In the streets, it don't matter. Somebody disrespect you like that as a man, like, no, like, we got to get this. We got to get this fair one in. We got to get this fair one in. Or like I said, I don't care if it's 20 years from now, man. If I see you in the street, man, I'm running down on you. It's on at that point. And if I still lose, then cool. But I will feel more comfortable as a man seeing that situation out. There is no talking this out. If I'm Chris Rock, there is no talking this out. You know what I'm saying? Like, if this happened like in the street, people get shot over that. You know what I'm saying? Real rap. YSM. It's not the first time a Philly dude had to smack up an NY dude. That's a fact, bro. That's a fact, man. Big shout out to NY too, but that is a fact. That's 100% facts, bro. 100% facts, man. Like, but yeah, man. Like, I'm sorry. And the thing is, Will Smith should want that fair one too. If you felt that strongly about a joke to where you walked up on stage and smacked that man, you should want that. You should want that set up too. You should want a fair one too. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm pretty sure you want to do more than just smacking. And he probably gonna sue you anyway. You know what I mean? So you might as well try to get that fair one in. And run down on Chris Rock too. If you still feeling some type of way. And I ain't trying to promote violence. Like, it is what it is. It's a situation that gotta get handled. It can't end that way for neither guy. Here's what it is. YSM, Masvidal and Covington. Masvidal went after him a few days later and got charges now. See, but the thing is, OPAD, man, that's what I'm saying. Like, he was feeling some type of way. And, he tried to pay him a visit, man. I'm sorry. You smacked me on live TV. I'm going to have some assault charges, too. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to have some assault charges, too. But, nah, that's a great example, though. YSM, all my NY brothers got to hold this L. Yeah, and, between Chris Rock and Chris Colbert, they ain't good for the Chris's right now, man. It ain't good for the Chris's right now, man. It's really not. It's not good for if your name is Chris and you from NY, man, it ain't good looking right now, man, for sure. But Chris Rock gotta respond to that. He gotta respond to that. He can't he's probably gonna end up being a rich man off of that. But nah, he as a man, he got to square that off. He got to square that off, man. And I'm pretty sure Will Smith will give him the opportunity too. You know what I'm saying? In private, when they set that thing up. I ain't talking about no celebrity boxing or none of that stuff. No, y'all meet at an undisclosed location. Y'all go in a room, lock the door for 5-10 minutes. Y'all lock the room for 5-10 minutes. Or 10 minutes. Lock the room for 10 minutes. And whoever walk out, walk out. Whoever's stretched out, stretched out. You know what I'm saying? And that's how you gotta handle that. You know what I'm saying? That's how you gotta handle that, man. But nah, YSL, man, you 100% right, man. I love my NY peoples, my NY family, man. But from Chris Rock to Chris Colbert, man, it ain't looking good out there, man. Yeah, they definitely gotta hold that L, man. Definitely gotta hold that L. But like I said, they got an opportunity to redeem himself. I mean, me personally, I would shit. I'm Chris Rock. I'm calling him right out. Like, yo, I need this fair one. I need this fair one. You know what I mean? Let's line something up. No cameras, no nothing. Let's get this fair one in. You know what I'm saying? If you come out on top, cool. If I come out on top, cool. But when we handle business, that's gonna be the end of it. You know what I'm saying? But we gonna get this fair one in. You know what I'm saying? And that's just where I'm at with it, man. Like people getting all technical and like, oh well, who took more of a loss and all this and all that. Like I said, it shouldn't be end like this. It shouldn't end like this. This shouldn't be no truce or nothing like that. Chris Rock is a grown man. He need to go pay Will. He need to pay Will Smith a visit. He need to pull up. He need to pull up. He need that. He should be asked. He should be trying to get that one on one by any means necessary. And he can't get nobody to fight for him. He got to do it. He got to do it. Will Stokes, Jada gonna pay Will back by going to visit August or something. I listen. It's you. Sometimes you don't control who you fall for. As far as a female is concerned. But Jada has disrespected Will so much in public that I don't care how much love involved, man. I'm not doing that for her. I'm not. Because if she had the ultimate respect for Will, there would be no red table talk. There will be no entanglement. There'd be none of that. I'm not saying that she wasn't like doing a thing like back in the day, whatever the case may be, or there was rumor they had an open relationship, whatever. But you should have enough respect for your partner to not air your partner out in public. And that's what she's done with Will several times. So she's part of the reason why he was probably at a boiling point. You know what I mean? It wasn't just Chris Rock. I mean, it probably went back to August Alsina, went back to Tupac. And if it was August Alsina and Tupac, and not trying to be disrespectful, I'm pretty sure it didn't end there. You know what I'm saying? And Will probably was doing his thing too. I mean, he's one of the best actors of all time, man. One of the most popular just entertainers of all time, man. So I'm pretty sure he, was doing this thing too. But she's exposed him in public several times, man. And that's the part I can't get past. I'm not gonna put it all on the line for somebody that's gonna do that to me. That's just my opinion, though. Will Stokes, I don't know much about it, but it doesn't seem like Jada is riding for Will, like Will is riding for Jada to me. That's exactly my point. Like that's exactly my point. In the court of public opinion, Will Smith rides out for Jada way more than Jada rides out for Will Smith. And in private, that may be completely false. In private, Jada might be riding out for Will more than Will riding out for Jada, but just public perception is that Jada is more inclined to do Will dirty in public than Will doing Jada dirty in public. You know what I'm saying? Like you're not gonna be having multiple entanglements and embarrassing me in public, and then you expect for me to lay it all on the line for you. Like, no, like you gotta draw the line somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta draw the line somewhere. So we're gonna see what happens going forward. I'm real interested to see what Chris Rock got to say. I thought the joke was corny. I thought the joke was corny. the joke wasn't even that deep. It wasn't that deep, number one, in my opinion. But if it was deep to Will Smith, it was deep to Will Smith. But I didn't think the joke was funny. Like, the joke was funny. It was an old ass joke. And I just, if he was going to pay Chris Rock a visit, he should have paid him a visit privately and set that thing up. You know what I'm saying? Um, you know what I mean? So, Pat, man, I sent you text me too, bro. I'm gonna get with you as soon as I get up off this joint. But no, Will, you 100% right, man. Like, it definitely seemed like Will be riding out for Jada more than Jada be riding out for Will. And it seemed like, to be honest with you, I think Jada would, if God rest his soul, but I think Jada probably was riding out for Pac more than Will. She probably was riding out for August Alsina more than Will. She probably was riding out for other people more than Will. You know what I mean? And that's the perception. That's the perception. So if we feel the perception as a public, I'm pretty sure he feels the perception and feels those vibes in private. You understand what I'm saying? So it's a crazy situation. It's a crazy situation. It's a touchy situation. And I hope Chris Rock is okay going forward, and I hope Will Smith is okay going forward, and nobody is hurt long term when it comes down to this situation. But do I think them two need to square that off and have a one-on-one, especially for Chris Rock? Absolutely. Absolutely. Like, I wouldn't, like I said, I wouldn't be right as a man if I didn't square that off with Will Smith, or if I couldn't square it off with him having a range one-on-one at a private location. I'll just, when the next time I see him is on. Well, the next time I see him is on. You know what I mean? And I ain't sending no goons. I ain't sending none of that, because them dudes got too much security. I ain't sending no goons or nothing like that. Like, it's on. You know what I mean? It's on. Period. So we're gonna see what happens going forward, man. But I usually keep it all boxing, man. But that's something I just had to touch on. But big shout out to George Kambosos, Devin Haney, for getting that fight done. Big shout out to Lomachenko for doing what he's doing, for his country, and all the people that fight for their countries. You know what I'm saying? It's not just Usyk and Lomachenko. There's guys in the U.S. that spend most of their lives in the military fighting for their country, man. So big shout out to anybody that fights for their country, making our lives, the way that we live it, and the freedoms, different freedoms that we have. So big shout out to everybody. Big shout out to Josh Warrington for his victory, Ebony Bridges for her victory, Nakatalia for his victory, and we're gonna do episode 74 of the Goodfellas podcast. Hopefully we'll have Shane and vlog on that one. But if not, I ain't got no problem cooking by my damn self. I ain't got no problem with it at all. I will sit and talk boxing for hours on top of hours by my damn self with y'all in the comment section, and we cooking. You know what I'm saying? I throw the apron on and we cooking. Oven mitt, all that, we cooking. You know what I'm saying? Take it back to the roots, man. Before I met Shane, before I met Boxing First Vlog, man, I was on this camera cooking by my damn self. You know what I mean? So we got to go back to that for a week or two until my guys get back. Then that's just what it is, man. If we talking boxing, we talking boxing at the end of the day. So, but if you're interested to get on the show with me, co-host with me, holla at me. Get at me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, G5JeffTV, across the board. Go to the website, G5JeffTV.com. We about to revamp that whole thing. Get season 3 started. We have a major sponsor for season 3 of the Boxing Prediction Fantasy League, man. Guaranteed huge sponsor, man. Somebody with a channel of my size shouldn't have a sponsor this big. Should not have a sponsor this big, man. I can't wait to drop the sponsor. And there's other sponsors as well. I got like 3-4 other sponsors as well, man. But I got one huge sponsor sponsoring the prediction league for season 3, man. So I'm definitely looking forward to that, man. But we're gonna close this thing out right there, man. Whew. Hour 35 minutes strong, man. Dolo. Hour 35 minutes strong, man. Dolo, man. Pat myself on the goddamn back. No script, no nothing. Coming in here, putting in work. You know what I'm saying? I miss you guys, man. Talking boxing every single day, man. We had to go through that situation with my man, Boxing First Vlog, man. Thoughts and prayers. Please send your thoughts and prayers out. Boxing First Vlog, man. Just battling the situation right now, man. Trying to get more details on it. You know what I'm saying? But my man, he's staying strong, doing what he got to do. And once we find out some more details, we'll know how to attack and things like that, man. Like, and I'm battling right there with him. You know what I'm saying? Shane battling right there with him. You know, and that's my big bro. That's my big bro, man. When I found out he wasn't right, I wasn't in the mood to talk no boxing. That's why I wasn't on here, man. That's my bro, like for life. You know what I'm saying? That's my bro for life, man. Big shout out to Boxing First Vlog. My man VP Shane out here stamping passports and shit, man, traveling, doing what he doing, man. Big shout out to VP Shane, man. Hopefully you'll see all three of us on screen very soon. But we'll be back. I think I'll be back early tomorrow. Get an early join in. And follow me on social media. You'll definitely get the updated news on that. But if not tomorrow, definitely Wednesday. And see if we can get Padman McGriffin here on Wednesday. And we talk more Haney Kambosos. We ain't even get into the Tank situation right now with his contract being up, man. We ain't get into that neither. So we still got a lot of things to talk about, a lot of work to do, a lot of hardcore boxers that we need to talk about, man. So you're gonna get a lot more hardcore stuff going on with the Goodfellas podcast, especially with me rocking solo for the immediate future. You know, it's gonna get real hardcore up in here, man, for sure, in terms of talking boxing. So on behalf of VP Shane, aka Ice Cold Shane, you can follow him at I_am Shane, the number one. Again, that is I_am Shane, the number one. You see it right down the bottom. Follow VP Shane on Instagram at I_am Shane, the number one. And Boxing First Vlog, go follow his YouTube channel. Social medias is Boxing First Vlog, man. Definitely go follow my man YouTube channel, man. That's the link right there for Boxing First Vlog YouTube channel, man. We actually streaming on this channel as well. So whenever we stream a Goodfellas podcast, it's going to be on his channel as well. So big shout out to the bro. Wouldn't have it no other way. And y'all catch me all over the place, man. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, G5JeffTV across the board. G5JeffTV.com is going to be temporary construction going on. We're going to revamp that thing. We'll probably have that done by next week. New articles, new rankings, new setup, new sponsors going to be revealed on there. Season 3, we're going to get that kicking, get that going. The people that's in the boxing group chat on Instagram, we're going to announce when we're going to have a meeting for season 3. So definitely be on the lookout for that. Bruce Schools, I'm going to reach out to you later on tonight. YSM, that's my bro right there. Reach out to you too later on. And, you know, we just cooking right now, man. We just going to try to stay as consistent as we can, try to work through, you know, just some of the pitfalls of life and just try to make sure we get on here, you know, as close to on schedule as possible. So, but big shout out to everybody that supports us, man. Continues to ride with us, man, no matter what. If we, you know, go on for a couple of days, y'all don't go anywhere, man. We greatly appreciate it, man. And y'all are like my boxing family, like my real family, like for real, for real. You know what I'm saying? So big shout out to all you guys, man. And listen, on behalf of VP Shane, aka Ice Cold Shane, Boxing First Vlog, aka The General, aka Blunt, aka Blunt Bayless, aka Mr. 1K, and your boy G5 Jeff TV, aka G5, aka 5, aka The Guru. On behalf of the staff, we are out. Episode 74 of the Goodfellas podcast. Follow me on social media. You'll see if it's going down tomorrow or it's going down Wednesday. Big shout out to y'all. We out.